Now we'll move on to Ukraine. The war in Ukraine, it's been one of the single biggest things affecting the cybersecurity landscape in Europe over the past 2 years, and lately the stakes have become even higher, as we all know. But of course, it's one thing to take care of cybersecurity, embrace oneself for cyber attacks, online attacks in, say, Nordic countries, and a completely different thing to actually fight a hot hybrid war in Ukraine. So how does technology help Ukraine fight for its freedom? That's what we are going to talk about next. And I think I can speak for everyone here when I say that we are very happy and excited to get the Ukrainian perspective on this subject matter next. Now, unfortunately, our next speaker was not able to join us in person today. There was a last-minute change, but the good thing is that she kindly was able to send us a video recording of her keynote. She is, among other things, a business angel, a PR and marketing professional, and regarded by many as one of the most influential women of our time in fintech. She has over 20 years of experience in IT and investment management. She has worked at Estonian Development Fund as well as several investment funds. And since 2015, she's been one of the key drivers of digitalization in Ukraine. First advising the ministers of agriculture, and then since 2019, she's been the advisor to the Minister of Digital Transformation. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to give you the video keynote recording of Ministerial Advisor Ms. Jaanika Merilo.
Good morning, everyone. I'm really sorry. I apologize that I cannot be today with you in Helsinki. Unfortunately, I had some work force majeure. But I would like to take you to a journey about Ukrainian defense tech, cybersecurity, militech, and to talk a little bit how Ukraine managed to stay up and running, also thanks to technology. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to write to my personal email that is in the first page of this presentation. So actually, to look at Ukraine today, we should start already from 2013 or even before that. In 2013 in Ukraine, there was a Maidan, or Revolution of Dignity, where Ukraine stood up to Viktor Yanukovych, the pro-Russian president, to say that Ukraine doesn't accept corruption, that Ukraine wants to join EU, and as a result, Yanukovych fled, and in 2014, unfortunately, the war started. But also in 2013, there was one from military history, maybe historic speech by Valery Gerasimov, his chief of general staff in Russia, and today also in command of the so-called special operation in Ukraine. And Valery Gerasimov actually spelled it out very well, saying that the modern warfare is not only about the conventional warfare, it is also about the information war, cyber war, war in infrastructure, and everything else. And actually, sometimes we try to ignore it and say that no, probably it's not Russia that has its Cold War on our infrastructure or cyber resources. But since 2013 and already before that, Russia started the information war against Ukraine using the same old rhetorics about, I wouldn't repeat it, you've heard it before, but basically creating chaos, doubt, making you ask the questions that was it really black and white, or maybe they were a little bit right. Also, the cyber war started years before. Real war started in 2014, and Ukraine was in 2021 already one of the most attacked countries in the world by Russia and by so-called government-backed hackers. Actually, it was the second after US most attacked country in the world. And the attacks kept on escalating, while in January 2022, they peaked. And it's almost said that it was actually this kind of false start to the real large-scale conventional war because it was very massive. It was let's say 600,000 packages per second attacking just government application Diia. And it was definitely prepared for many months, and it cost like millions or more. Ukraine already by February understood that something must be really seriously going on. And when the second huge DOS attack was targeted towards Ukraine, Ukraine was already kind of prepared as you can be. As well, President Volodymyr Zelensky is probably known today because of his ability to lead Ukraine and for his stamina and grits. But he was also digital president, meaning that even before he became a president, his presidential campaign was also based on promise of digital country or country in a smartphone, meaning that the government applications, government services should be available through the smartphone. And we already launched in 2018-19 the government services app, because also at the same time President Zelensky founded a special and dedicated ministry of digital transformation that was responsible for all the changes in regards to digital, because it's important not only to have the will, there has to be someone who is in charge and has the power to drive the change. So Minister Fedorov, a young and very progressive minister, came and started launching government applications based on a smartphone. And for example, also the Diia, the government app that delivers all the government services via smartphone, makes available all the government documents through the smartphone, was launched. So today, or actually also in the beginning of the large-scale invasion, Ukraine and citizens of Ukraine had a digital passport, digital driving license, and many more documents. It made it very much easier when the war started for people that lost their documents, didn't have their documents, to still be able to receive all the services needed because the documents were actually in the smartphone. And it truly helped a lot of refugees. Ukraine was again prepared not only in cyber, but also in regards to government services. And what is very important also is that we managed to have the cloud law in February 2022, just before the large-scale war. And it truly helped to shift all the government services databases to cloud, because it allowed, that wasn't previously allowed, to store government information in clouds. So thank you also Microsoft and Amazon. So we had a little preparedness, but still you cannot be really prepared to large-scale war in your country. And also when I woke up in the Kyiv in February 24th, actually the first thoughts were that I have to get to ATM, which means have to have cash, because if something starts, or something has started, probably the connection would go down. I was prepared that the messengers, the internet will go down, but actually nothing did. And this is a huge effort of Ukraine, of very many telecommunication workers, and it's a real achievement, I would say, that the connection actually stayed up also during the first days. And also during the first days, or actually February 26th, Minister Fyodorov wrote this, I would say, famous tweet to Elon Musk, saying that while it tried to colonize Mars, Russia tries to occupy Ukraine. While a rocket successfully landed in space, Russian rockets attack Ukrainian civil people. While we ask you to provide Ukraine with Starlink stations, saying Russia to stand. So just a few hours later, Elon Musk replied, Starlink service is now active in Ukraine. More terminals en route. Well, actually, the negotiations with Starlink started already before, but it was very convenient that we managed to get it up and running at the beginning of the war, because actually Starlink was really vital part of having the communication up. And it was vital for military, because very often Russia used its electronic warfare. The connection was down also in the war zone, especially in the war zone. So Starlink helped to have this backup connection, but it was important also for government administrations, for critical infrastructure, for hospitals, for schools, to have this connection when 3G, 4G, any other G is down. And also in the occupied regions where Ukraine managed to liberate some new regions, villages, towns, the connection didn't often work. So it was actually the first way to get the connection up and running. And yes, we unfortunately know that there have been some hiccups on the way in regards to Starlink as well, and in certain very critical situations, also in Crimea, while the naval drones attack, the connection went down, as well as the connection slowed down in certain war zone and critical situations. But still, Ukraine is the second most Starlink country in the world, having over 40,000 Starlink terminals that were purchased by Ukraine, by Poland, by donors, by US. And now the Pentagon is actually, let's say, in charge for Starlink connectivity. So Starlink still is a very important part of Ukrainian technological warfare. And as well, to increase our defense capacities, volunteers launched a great effort called IT Army. It's also supported by government. And the IT Army is united by all the volunteers that are willing to help Ukraine in different tasks, in defending Ukrainian systems, in keeping the systems up and running, but as well in offensive, because Ukraine said in February 2022 that now that the war is also in cyber attacks, Ukraine has the right to go also offensive. So the IT army basically is the support for Ukrainian army to carry on out different missions, also in getting the information, in receiving the information from different databases and leaking databases. But just a small example that last year uh, there was an economic forum, and economic forum is truly important for Putin because it is where he makes also his annual speech. And before his annual speech, there was a post in Telegram bot that invited all the IT army members to pay a virtual visit to economic forum. The site went down. Putin's speech had to be delayed, and it was all over the newspapers that Ukrainian hackers broke into the systems. Yes, it's not vital; it's just psychological effect. But of course, it's like much more serious, like broadcasting the Zelensky's message in Russian TV in Russia's Victory Day, May the 9th, and not talking about receiving really vital information for special operation forces. But we're using also, besides the government apps, very much the AI and artificial intelligence based solutions. For example, there is a special bot, Telegram bot again, because Telegram is really popular in Ukraine, that where you can submit the damage that has been done to your house, to your apartment during the Russian occupation or Russian attacks. And you can basically record your apartment or the damage so that they helps to evaluate how big has been the damage so that government can plan cost that it needs to be repaired. As well, there is a very strange to say popular bot Yevorak, or there is an enemy, where people can take a picture or record a video of suspected enemy tanks or troops or any equipment, and the bot image recognizes possible enemy equipment and kind of pre-processes it because you have received like hundreds of thousands of different notices, pictures, videos, and it wouldn't be possible for people to scan all through this information. So the bot actually pre-screens by image recognition. Is it really, for example, an enemy tank, or it's some kind of big car or truck? A huge part in this war is on drones. And also General Zaluzhny from Ukraine has said in his recent Economist interview that the war will be won by those who have the superiority in technology. Because when the powers are equal or matching, there has to be a breakthrough, and this breakthrough would be provided by new technological solutions. Because once again, Russia has a very good electronic warfare means, as well as Lancer drones and other drones. They're quite capable, unfortunately, while Ukraine is still increasing its drone production. And Ukraine needs a lot of drones, meaning that we're talking about tens of thousands of drones per month, and different drones for surveillance, for attacking enemy positions. And now Ukraine has dedicated this year $1 billion, and next year $1 billion to increase its own drone production and to buy drones that are available from friendly countries so that it could increase its superiority in intelligence. And so anyone that is producing drones, you're very welcome to test them out in Ukraine in true war conditions. And Ukraine really needs all and any kind of drones. And the drone production has really increased also during this large-scale attack. And as you have seen, probably the naval drones, actually there are two types of naval drones that are attacking enemy positions also in the Black Sea. And I think it has been amazing how actually, when you remember, there was a grain corridor, meaning that Ukraine could ship its grain to Africa, to different countries through sea. But when Russia backed off this grain agreement or Black Sea agreement, Ukraine decided that it can guarantee its own grain corridor. And actually, today the corridor is again working because Russia has removed its fleet from the Black Sea, being afraid of the Ukrainian naval drones that can really reach all the radius of perimeter of Black Sea. So again, not only the drones like the surveillance drone, but also the naval drones have played a huge part and are still playing a huge part in Ukrainian ability to resist. So I would say that technology is playing a huge and very important part in Ukrainian warfare, and it's playing part not only in regards to war, but also in regards to helping the people, like this Diia app that allows you to have government services up and running constantly. But my personal cause is right now, for example, helping Commissioner of Human Rights of Ukraine to find the deported children, because Russia says that it has deported 700,000 Ukrainian children to Russia. We hope it's less. We hope it's tens of thousands of children that have been deported all over Russia, that are living now in orphanages, in Russian Orthodox churches, in different schools and kindergartens. But it's really hard to find them because Russia doesn't want to give them back nor give any information on the relocation. And imagine like tens of thousands of children from the very small ages to up to 16, 17 years old that have to be found, because we hope that when we can locate them, we can help to bring them back. And so far we have located thousands of children using the image recognition as well. And we have managed to bring back approximately 400 children, because unfortunately at this point we can locate them, but Russia is not really giving them back. So actually technology plays truly an important role. And I would like to say a huge thank you to our partners like Microsoft that has really contributed to also cyber defense of Ukraine, to Amazon also in regards to cloud services, to Google that has denied Russian several services, which is also important, not to enhance the Russian capacities, also to Meta, and also now Palantir that will be working with the Ukrainian government in regards to big data and collecting data and analyzing data for decision support of Ukraine. So I would like to say a big thank you to everyone for taking this 20 minutes, as well as if you have any ideas or any solutions that you think that could help Ukraine, please reach out to me. You see my email in the screen. Don't hesitate. And at this point, unfortunately, Ukraine needs all and any resources available, even though I would say that in cyber defense, Ukraine is getting stronger and stronger. But thank you, everyone. And once again, I'm so sorry that I couldn't be in Helsinki. I really wanted to be in Helsinki. Unfortunately, there was a small force majeure all cope with it, but still. Pahoittelut oikeasti vielä kerran, että en pystynyt olemaan kanssanne, mutta toivottavasti on se mahdollisuus joskus tulevaisuudessa. Thank you and very much hope to keep in touch.
Всім привіт! Передаємо масштабну партію, приблизно 1700 БПЛА різного типу нашим силам оборони від армії дронів. Перед вами розвідувальний літак «Пінгвін», його використовують країни НАТО. Він може зависати в повітрі на 72 години, має потужну оптику і є достатньо ребостійким. Або ЕОС – це також розвідувальний літак, він вертикально взлітає і є досить ефективним. Лелеку всі знають, це український дрон, розвідувальник, він є досить ефективним. Також Р-18 – це вже коптери, ударні коптери, які знищують броньовану ворожу техніку, вампіри, про які ми вже розповідали, і Евенджер. Це взагалі цікава розробка, літак-бомбер, який летить і кидає протипіхотні міни і може знищувати ворога. Також ви бачите FPV, які сьогодні є безцінними на полі бою і щодня знищують ворожу техніку та живу силу окупанта. Наприклад, «Фенікс», який вже використовується активно українськими силами оборони. Ви бачите дрони, які ми не можемо сьогодні відкрити і показати, але вони щодня допомагають нам захищати нашу країну. Розповімо після нашої перемоги. Слава Україні!
Many thanks to Ms. Merilo and gentlemen, our technical staff, maybe we can get Jaanika's email address one more time on the screen so that everyone who wants to contact her can do that. We would have loved to have her here in person with us, but we are very, very grateful that she was able to record this video message, this keynote for us. And wow, this was a really rare opportunity to get an insider's view to the war in Ukraine. And to learn about the piece of news that the grain route is up and running, it's working again, thanks to technology. That was a new piece of news for me myself.